Hello everyone, how are you today? So today is our last day in England. We're gonna get the ferry to France tonight at 7 o'clock. So we're gonna drive to Dover. We are in London at the moment and we'll need to stop on the way just to get some things before leaving the UK. I don't really know what other than baked beans. I can't think of what you can't find outside of the UK. What? Anyway, and yeah, I need to go to Halfords as well to get those stickers to put on the front lights, because when you go in Europe they drive on the right side and so the lights, they are wrong, so you need to put like stickers in front of them to avoid flashing the drivers coming on the other side. And that's it. I haven't been vlogging in a while because I've been in England for a little bit. But I spent some time in Newcastle, I spent time with friends, and then I was in London with my sister for a few weeks, and I didn't feel like vlogging because I didn't do anything that exciting other than spending some quality time with people that I love. And so that's it. Now we're back on the road and we're gonna be heading south, so I'm gonna bring you with me for that. And we actually need to find a name for this series, like Chasing the Sun or something like that. We'll see. Anyhow, let's drive out of London. I'm not looking forward to this, but it has to be done. I stopped for a little walkie and wee-wee at the motorway station, and I think I've already mentioned this in one of the vlogs, but in England at the motorway stations you can't stay more than 2 hours. I'm gonna show you one of the signs. Free parking for 2 hours and then charges apply after that, which is a pain in the ass if you stay in the van, because everywhere else motorway stations are kind of a safe option if you can't find anything else. So yeah, consider this if you're coming to England. You won't be able to sleep at the motorway stations. As you'll be able to hear, it's windy and the ferry is actually running late, so we have a few hours to kill. There's not much to do in Dover, you know. There's just the white cliffs and there's a castle up there. Let's see if I can show you. That's the castle and the lovely white cliffs. So I went to Halfords to get those Euro lights. Those are like the headlamp beam adapters that you need to go anywhere else other than the UK really, where they drive on the right. And those are actually really expensive. Like if you're planning to go outside of the UK, buy those online, because those were £8 and you only use them when you're there, and then when you come back you have to discard them, so those are expensive. So yeah, buy them online. And then I went to get a few things that I always get before leaving the UK, because either you can't find anywhere else or they're like quite expensive. So the first thing is a must if you stay in a van, and it's dry shampoo, which a lot of people think is disgusting if you haven't ever used it, but sometimes a few days go by and you haven't washed your hair and you just want to have a little refresher, and this is great for that. And also, I never bought, I stopped buying Batiste because I thought it wasn't, it was tested, but it's non-tested on animals and it's vegan apparently, so that's good news. And then what I've got is ibuprofen, which yes, you can get anywhere, but in England it's so cheap. Like this was 20p, while I'm not sure how it's gonna be in Spain and Portugal, but in Italy, for example, one packet is €8, so it's super expensive. So I always make sure to top up in meds before I go away. I don't often use it, but for period pains, usually I use a few, so that's good. And then I bought those, which I'm sure I'll find in France and Spain and wherever, but they were very cheap, and there are those heating pads that you can put on your skin to heat you up. And again, I use those for heating more than anything. So if it's really cold and I'm struggling, then I can put one of those in my back or, you know, on my stomach to keep me warm. And that's it really. I also got some noodles because they're very cheap in England, and I got some oats as well, porridge oats, and something else I forgot. But yeah, those are the things that I usually get before leaving the UK. And let me know which things you buy that you can't find outside of the UK. But I am really looking forward to head to France, because in France they have crème de marron, which is chestnut cream, which you can't find in England, or you can find, but it's really expensive. And they have palm hearts for quite cheap. Like here they are £3 a can, while in France it's like maybe €1 a can. So yeah, I have like all of my things that I love buying from every country that I go, and stock up on that. But now we still have a few hours to go, and I think I'm just gonna go for a little coffee. I feel like I've been chatting a lot, but I wanted to show you something. Oh, actually, before I do that, I need to do something. So this is actually really exciting. I can't wait to fit it. So basically, as you can see here, I have no barrier for Odie, and I don't really need one because Odie is very quiet. Usually barriers, you know, it's for dogs that roam around, and there's the danger of them distracting you while you're driving, or, you know, moving around, while Odie just sits and sleeps. But in most countries, a barrier is a requirement, a legal requirement. So I have this Corgo seat barrier, which is actually a really cool thing, because all the barriers that I have seen were like permanent barriers, so you know, the iron bars. And to me that's an issue, because at night if I'm sleeping and something happens and I want to go in front, I can't, because there will be barriers. So to me it's important to have something that's removable. So this is really cool. It's a back seat barrier, and it just goes between the two seats, and it's removable, and it's made out of fabric. So I'm gonna install this. This is from Corgo. They sent me this, but I'm not getting paid or anything to say anything good about them, really. I just wanted to try it, and I think it's a really cool solution. If, like me, you want to have access to the front and you don't want something permanent. So yeah, let's install this thing. Right, so after fighting for what felt like ages with the headrests, because I couldn't figure out how to remove them, I realized that there's a method where you don't need to remove the headrests. But at least I've learned how you can take them off if I ever need again. And so I fitted the barrier. Wait, I'll show you. And I'm quite pleased with how it looks. Choop. And so there's a few rings that you put on the headrest to here and to here, which for me wouldn't work, because I don't want to have to take the headrest off every time that I want to go to remove this. So I've put on one side 2 carabiners so that it's easy, you know, for me to take it off at night. And it has pockets, which is really cool, because you always need extra storage if you're staying in a van. It has a big pocket here, and then 2 smaller ones on the side, and then there's a space for a bottle, which I like. And at the bottom, it's there's 2 hooks and that fit under the 2 seats. So I'm quite pleased with that. We need to see how easy it's gonna be, you know, to remove it every night. It is an extra step to add to your night routine, but as I say, it is a really good requirement. I was lucky never to get stopped and never to get fined because I didn't have one, and it's also, you know, extra safety for Audie and for me in any event that he's not, if he wasn't sleeping or if he was just getting up to readjust himself to sit down and I had a crash, then he would just fly away. So this is very important, and I should have got something similar a long time ago, and I think it's a very clever idea if you don't want to fit, you know, permanent bars. And now I'm gonna stop talking because I think I've talked a lot today, and we're gonna go and see if we can board. Bye, you gonna be okay? You gonna be okay? Huh? I found myself a quiet little spot next to the window, and it's actually quite early. It's the ferry, one ferry earlier than the one I was supposed to take, but because everything is delayed, then I was able to get in this one. And it's quite funny because at the check-in, the guy was like, so where have you been? And I was like, oh, went to Scotland. And he was like, I know, I seen you on YouTube. And I was like, it always freaks me out when I meet people for real that already know my face. It takes me out of balance, and it happened a few times in Scotland as well, and it always takes me by surprise. So Chris, if you're watching, you were lovely, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of your shift. We are officially in France, and I'm green, not sure why, but I'm not sure where we're going. I think we're just gonna drive south, and there is only one thing that I need to remember: to drive right. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Bye bye.